Hi,
Hi,
Alita.
how are you?
I'm good. How are you, Alita?
Better than ever.
So here, this is the playground, and what are they doing that involves pushing and pulling? Yeah.
Yeah, this is my favorite swing.
Swinging. Can you think of another activity that you can do that requires push or pull?
Well, I know one, but it's not really. So only like tiny kids, 1 to 3 years old. Every tiny is not full grown, so they need help to go on the slide or go down the slide. So they need to also push. Ooh, and another like nanny or grandma like catches the baby.
Right at the bottom, right? Very good. Yeah. So those are forces that you are doing, to help the baby slide down. Okay. So move it. All about motion. Position is the place where something is. When something moves, it changes in position. A change's position is called motion. But what causes motion? Think about a swing. Like other objects, a swing cannot move by itself. It needs the push or pull of a different force. A person can push a swing. He or she can also pull it. Pushes and pulls keep a swing moving in back and forth motion. Okay, so this was a lot of information. So
yeah, but I have
a question. Sure.
You swim, right? But since I am old enough, I can swim by my own. Kick, kick, kick.
Yeah, but that's
kick.
But that kick that you're doing, that's also emotion, right? You're moving, you're kind of like pushing with your legs down, and then you're pulling with your legs up. Yeah. So that's also a force, right? So, okay, it's your turn to read, and then we're going to talk about some important vocabulary words, okay?
All right. It's position, motion, and force.
Right.
Move it. All about motion. Position is a place where something is. When something moves, it changes position. A change in position is called motion. But what causes motion? Think about the swing. Like other objects, a swing cannot move by itself. It needs to push and pull of a different force. A person can push a swing. Well, he or she can also pull it. Pushes and pull keep a swing moving in the back and forth motion.
Very good. Okay, so you had your pen on your right hand, right?
Yeah.
So if you change your pen to your left hand, that's motion, right? Because your pen is changing positions. So you are creating motion.
Like,
okay.
Are you saying like change my pen? I am left-handed, right? No, right-handed. So change. Do I need to throw?
It doesn't really matter as long as you're changing the position of the pen. That's motion. So another example is, for example, when you're in your car, okay, when your mom or your dad is driving. So you're in the car and you are at a stoplight. So the car's position is in front of the stoplight and it's not going, right? That's the position. And then the light turns green and you start going. And so now the position of the car is changing. So there's motion. Okay.
All right. Now I understand.
Okay. And the final word is force.
Force.
I'm going to try to highlight this again. Let me see. Let's see. A push or a pull. It's not working. Okay. A push or pull of a different force.
Oh, different highlighted very well.
Yeah. Like other objects, a swing cannot move by itself. Yeah. Okay, so you can write force is like a push or a pull.
Okay. Force is like a push or a pull.
Yeah.
Or a pull. How about difference? But you highlighted the difference and
yeah, I highlighted it, but I don't think it's necessary. Because, for example, gravity is a force and it's pulling down, right? If you're in a swing, you're pushing. So it's as long as something is pushing or pulling. So a push or a pull.
A push
or a pull.
Push. Or a pull. Very cool.
Got it?
Got it.
Okay. So yeah, a force is anything that makes an object move. Okay. So anything that also creates motion. For example, if you're sitting on the swing and somebody pushes you, they put a force onto you. And so now you're in motion, you're moving, right?
Yeah, I hate someone push me so they can swing the swing.
Yeah.
I fell in the ground.
Okay, so next page. Do you have any questions, Lolita, on any of these 3 vocabulary words?
Nope.
Okay. So now let's go to motion in action. So, where can you see lots of motion? A soccer game. Many forces are at play in a game. Each kick is a push that moves the ball. If a player kicks hard, the ball moves at a fast speed. However, if the player gives the ball a gentle tap, it moves slowly. Speed is how far something moves in a certain amount of time. A player might kick the ball in a straight line. He or she can kick the ball up in the air, but the force of gravity will bring it back down. Kicking the ball in a zigzag path gets it away from players. The goalie can pull the ball back. Until the game is over, the motion never stops. Okay, your turn.
Motion and actions. Where can you see a lot of motion? A soccer game. Many forces are at play in a game. Each kick is a push that moves a ball. If a player kicks hard, the ball moves at a fast speed. However, if the player gives the ball a gentle tap, it moves slowly. Speed is how far something moves in a certain amount of time. A player might kick the ball in a straight line. He or she can kick the ball up in the air. The force of gravity will bring it back down. Kicking the ball in a zigzag path gets it away from players. The goalie can pull the ball away until the game is over. The motion never stops.
Okay, so a zigzag path. So a zigzag is exactly just like my highlighter was going all over the place, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very funny.
Okay, so there is another word that I will ask you. I want to write it down. And the word is speed.
Speed.
Okay, so here's the definition of speed. Here it goes again. Speed. Oh, that was
Oh, this one's really good.
That one isn't. Oh, wow. It fixed itself. It's like magic. Okay, so the word is speed, and this is your definition. How far something moves in a certain amount of time. Okay.
Speed. Speed. Do I need to write to speed? Speed. Speed is how far something moves in a certain count of time.
No, you can just write it once. Just write it this one.
It's in. Oh boy. As how far move
In a certain amount of time. Got it? Okay, so let me give you an example. So let's say that there's a turtle, right? And you put the turtle in the start line. Actually, there's two turtles, and they're both in a start line, and you're going to see which turtle is faster. So on your watch, you're going to count 1 minute, and you're going to see which turtle gets far in 1 minute. So say that the first turtle moved 10 inches from the start line, and the second turtle moved 20 inches from the start line.
Wait, how much inches is the first one?
10 inches is the first one, and the second one is 20 inches.
No way.
So which turtle had the most speed?
Definitely the second one.
The second one, right? Because you have to measure at the same amount of time. So you have to give both turtles 1 minute. You can't give them more time or less time, just 1 minute, and just see who moves further. So speed is how far something moves in a certain amount of time. Okay. So let's look at this little chart right here. So it's a chart about force. So oops, I don't want to highlight anyone. Okay. So we have a tractor, we have a boy pulling a wagon, and we have a foot kicking a football. Okay.
You just say one answer. You said a boy
Yeah.
pulling a wagon.
But I mean, the answers are still here, so it's okay. So what is the tractor doing? What force is it having?
Push.
It's having a push. What is it pushing?
The dirt.
Right. And here with the wagon, what force can you see?
The pulling.
The pulling. Who's doing the pulling?
The boy, but it can also be a girl because he got her leg on the ground, so maybe he can move in her leg.
Yeah, that's true. And what about the third one? What force?
It's pushing.
Pushing. So what's pushing what?
Foot is pushing a football.
Right.
Tricky questions of gravity. So, you know, a paper. See this one, paper?
Yeah.
Fell very slowly.
Right.
So, a notebook fell quickly, right?
Yeah.
But a notebook is full of paper.
Right.
How can it fall so quickly?
Yeah. So your question is why? Why one falls faster than the other?
Yeah, because the notebook is full of paper. See, these are all papers.
So the thing is that when you grab one piece of paper and you throw it, go like this to a paper. It's very light, right?
Let me try to like grip paper.
It moves very lightly. But what happens when you put a lot of papers together? It becomes heavier, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So if something is lighter, if something is super light, then when it falls, air is going to get underneath and it's going to make the falling slower, kind of like a feather.
Isn't like this. This is the paper I wrote, and this is the paper. It feels different.
Is what?
It felt different, like it felt different. And this is just like not controlled. Can fall into every places. But this is have control.
Yeah. And so one of your papers is a tissue, right? And the other one is a notebook paper.
Yes.
And put the tissue in one hand and put the notebook paper in your other hand.
All right. Oh.
Okay, I want you to see which one do you feel is heavier? Or you can even just go like this. You can kind of feel the thickness of the paper.
Oh yeah, I can feel my fingers too.
Right. So that means that your tissue is very, very light. So when you throw it, air is going to get underneath. But the notebook paper...
But this is also paper. How can it be different?
Yeah, but it's made with different material. So the notebook paper is a little bit heavier than the tissue. Okay.
But they fell at the same time. Kind of like that.
Okay, so let's continue to the make connections.
Or make connection. How do the force or push? How do the force of push and pull affect objects?
Okay, so think about an object. What happens when you put the force of push and pull to an object?
So push or pull. But my object is kind of small.
The what?
My object.
What object did you think of?
My wand, which I show you.
Okay, so what happens if you put your wand on the table and you push it? What's going to happen to your wand?
Like roll. Oh.
Right.
But my wand has a head, remember? So I can be very easy to push it, just fell into another place like this. Ooh.
Right. So when you have your wand on your notebook and you use the force of pushing it, it's going to change position, right? It changes from being in your notebook to being in your desk or wherever you pushed it to, right? So it has motion. Okay.
Much better.
Okay, good. So, okay, so let's see. Okay, so we finished this page. So now we're going on to the next one.
Whoa.
Okay. So what are they looking at?
The cat.
Great, the cats. Okay, go ahead, Alita.
They look at the sky. They look at the yellow lights of the houses. They look at the cat sitting in the window, looking back at them. Wait, I see Mr. Tabby wearing a cape.
Wearing what?
Cape.
What do you mean?
A superhero cape.
Oh. Yeah, okay, so. Oh, look, who's this?
Yeah, I saw Mr. Tabby was wearing a cape.
Okay, go ahead.
And then at last they circle back home. Then they stop at Mrs. Tabby's house. Mr. Tabby, what are you going up? Asked
Wait,
Mr.
you skipped this line. Mrs. T-Berry
and Zeke were on the front lawn.
一定要自己先，要老师先。这个每天要说讲一遍。
Okay. So wait. Okay. So I'm going to read first, Alita, okay? And then you read after me, okay?
All right.
So, I'm going to read from this sentence here, okay? Mrs. T-Berry and Zeke were on the front lawn. Mrs. T-Berry, what are you doing up? Asked Mr. Putter.
So Mrs. T-Berry and Zeke were on the front lawn. Mrs. T-Berry, what are you doing up? Asked Mr. Putter.
Okay. So, let's see. Let's go to the next page. Okay, Zeke has a grumbling stomach, said Mrs. T-Berry. He ate too many jelly rolls and we can't sleep. But, Mr. Putter and Tabby were delighted. They sat on the lawn with Mrs. T-Berry and Zeke.
Zeke has a grumble stomach, said Mrs. T-Berry. He ate too many jelly rolls and we can't sleep. Mr. Putter and Tabby were delighted. They sat on the lawn with Mrs. T-Berry and Zeke.
Okay, so look at this word in yellow, delighted. So this means to be very happy, okay, when you're delighted.
Like, I can go to Disney. I'm delighted.
Yeah, delighted, yeah, super happy. Okay, Mr. Putter's stomach and Zeke's stomach talked to each other while Mr. Putter and Miss T-Berry talked to each other. They told stories in the moonlight. They told secrets. They made each other laugh.
Mr. Putter's stomach and Zeke's stomach talked to each other while Mr. Putter and Mrs. T-Berry talked to each other.